Hello and welcome to World Ballet Day here at Birmingham Royal Ballet. My name is Tyron Singleton, I'm a principal dancer with the company. This year for World Ballet Day we decided to do things a little bit differently by bringing you 4 separate shows that are tailor-made to the separate regions throughout the globe. Starting with Australia, moving on to Japan, then the UK and then the Americas. Each show will be hosted and featured dancers from that specific region. Like most companies around the world, Birmingham Royal Ballet is made up of dancers from all over the world. And what better time to celebrate that than World Ballet Day itself? So, to start off this show, we bring you a piece that was created amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. The Burning Building, created by Javier de Frutos for Sofia Linares and Shuai Lun Wu. Since its premiere back in June at the International Birmingham Dance Festival, it has been nominated for awards across North America, including the prestigious Toronto Film Festival.
The title, The Burning Building, comes from a quote from an interview from a book called Follies of God, which are a series of interviews with Tennessee Williams, which I guess some people are aware that I am a great buff and I have followed and researched his work for many years now. And there was something about that in life, that if life, the metaphor of life is a burning building, the only thing that we have to hold on to is love and each other.
Working with Javier was a really nice experience for both of us because, especially like having gone through all the lockdowns and being home for so long.
Like really nice to work with Javier because it's not all about dance. It's more about I think the feeling for each other, the relationship.
You know, when Carlos approached me and suggested these two dancers, these two very, very young but very, very intense and beautiful dancers, I knew that I was not going to be able. I want to create a different kind of chemistry. I didn't want to make a love story, too easy. I didn't want to make a sexual tension story, too easy. But the idea of two characters of different gender reacting to the same situation in different ways and being able to spend a bit of very intense time in the studio with the two of them, it would make it feel like it was really created in their bodies, which really was, but also with me as a conduit of unleashing something that would be very different of what they tend to do for their stage work, to be able to direct the dancers into the size of working for the camera, on the use of close-ups, on the use of being aware that what we film is should look effortless, and it should look almost as this off the cuff, that it just happened, which takes a lot of rehearsal for that to happen. And by the time that we went into the actual film set, it would look like it was the very first time that they were the ideas were coming from their heads and their bodies rather than being told or looking rehearsed, so that it had a freshness.
Hello everybody and thank you for tuning in. Welcome to World Ballet Day here at Birmingham Royal Ballet. It is wonderful to have you here with us to celebrate our work. Throughout this program, you get the chance to meet some of our brilliant dancers, find out about some of the work we have been doing during the last year, and more importantly, we'll give you a glimpse of what is in store now we are back on stage in front of live audiences once more. We're doing things a little differently for World Ballet Day this year. We are bringing the world 4 separate shows made especially with Australia, New Zealand, Japan, the UK and the Americas in mind. Whatever part of the world you are in, I hope you enjoy your time with us today. Next up, we are going to be looking at our November Triple Beard shows curated by Carlos at Sadler Wells in London. As part of this program, I will be performing a brand new pas de deux with the great Alexander Ferry, made especially for us by Goyo Montero to be danced as part of his ballet Chacona. If you can make it to London this November, don't worry, as we are capturing this ballet on film. We are hugely excited to announce that Birmingham Royal Ballet's curated by Carlos show will launch the Sadler Wells digital stage platform on 11th of November. To sign up for ticket alerts to this show, please follow the link below.
My name is Miguel Altunaga. I am a dancer from Cuba. I am a choreographer as well. I've been dancing in different companies throughout my career. I dance at Contemporáneo of Cuba, Rambert Dance Company, and now at Hofer Schechter. My style as a choreographer is to be as honest as I can with my ideas, but I do like things that have a connection with feelings, stories, people in general. I love stories of real people and stories that can really connect with the audience because we're all human and we all have feelings.
Now, the other note is like Hannah has a moment of walking, looking at the city whilst the other one are walking. That is a beautiful moment.
Yeah. You see that determination, resilience coming. Like some of you had it, but Mathilde was constant. I was like, I want to be there with you, girl. So make sure you have that because that's when you're coming together. So like going for it. Yeah.
The City of a Thousand Trades is a piece that talks about finding home, finding a new place. Where can I find my roots? It's a piece that talks about people finding, coming from different countries, different part of the world, into a new place and start from the beginning, from zero, and shows their struggles, their journey, and how they make it to how they basically survive until they make it. These interviews where we found people who actually came from different parts of the world and now have families and have placed their roots here in Birmingham.
I think I left everything to come here. Obviously, I left my family, my friends. So when I reached over here, it was a big change in my life.
And also people from Birmingham. And we just were into their places and asked for an interview.
I don't think I 100% belong here, but at the same time, I don't belong to my home city anymore.
And they gave us a really beautiful, deep interviews of their lives and really nice stories.
We all start this journey alone. We will spin through time and space, finding home in people and places, holding each other down, lifting each other up in this city of 1,000 trades. More than 1,000 have traded everything. What would you trade? To be lost in the spin of this city? To be found?
My name is Daniela Cardim. I am a choreographer and I was a ballet dancer with Dutch National Ballet and with the ballet company in Rio de Janeiro. It's hard to say which choreographer influenced me the most. I think I have a little bit of influence from Hans van Manen because he is the greatest choreographer from the Netherlands. And of course, throughout my career, I was always watching his work and I really admire his work. So Hans van Manen, yes, there is some influence from him, but also from other classical choreographers like Christopher Pastor, who was also a choreographer at Dutch National Ballet. I admire very much Christopher Wheeldon and what he's been doing lately. So I think everything you see and everything you dance, you are influenced by that slightly. So imminent is an abstract work that is inspired by a situation. So we start the piece in a place, in a world that is very harmonious, that is very happy, if you will, that everything works fine. And then we have one person that notices that something is actually not quite right. So imminent is about this feeling that there is something not quite right and we don't know what it is necessarily, but you can feel that something bad is coming. Then we get into a point where actually it becomes more obvious to some people that something is not right. And then you have this window of opportunity that opens to you. And then it's about making a choice of whether to take that opportunity or not, and having the courage to do so, even though it might be scary and you might not quite know what's going to happen if you make that decision. And then, just stop low. We started rehearsing right after. It was the first possibility after lockdown to start working. And it was scary and exciting at the same time. Actually worked better than I expected. It is hard to work with masks. I think for the dancers it's very hard to rehearse with masks. What was nice was that everybody was really excited about being back at work and being able to do our job, our art. So I guess that feeling of excitement and being happy to be back also compensated for the procedures that we then had to do.
My name is Goyo Montero. I'm a Spanish choreographer, former dancer, choreographer and director in Germany of the Staatstheater Nuremberg Ballet, the Ballet Nuremberg. I have been here in Nuremberg for 14 seasons. It's my 14th season, so I'm fortunate to have my own company, and I'm also resident choreographer with Acosta Danza since 2019. I was formerly a classical dancer that had interest in contemporary dance, in contemporary art, and I found my own way of expressing through choreography, and I've been fortunate enough to make my living with it. Actually, Chacona comes a long way in my work, because I'm always been a huge admirer of Bach, no? And it was commissioned by the Ministry of Culture of Spain to work with Tamara Rojo, working with principal dancers from Netherlands Dance Theatre, from Forsyth Company, all Spanish dancers that were abroad, you know. Then in 2011, in my company here in Nuremberg, I enlarged this work for my whole company here. So I did this Chacona, and Julio Boca, the director, was director then of the Ballet Nacional Sadler in Uruguay. He saw the full length and he said, but I love the Chacona, I would like it to present it alone. I would like it to be their own piece, you know. So he commissioned that, and then I did a new version for Ballet Nacional Sadler, and that was in 2017. So the piece comes from 2003, but it's been evolving. And the Chacona alone was presented for the first time in 2017 in Sadler, in Ballet Nacional Sadler in Uruguay. I think music and dance communicate. Therefore, the choreography of the Chacona is built always relating or connecting with the instrument, you know. So there is this kind of like conversation going on, you know. This you can call it a conversation, or sometimes a fight, sometimes challenging each other, sometimes bringing each other up or down, you know. And I think the awareness of the dancer listening to this live music with a musician on the stage becomes something magical.
My name's Brandon Lawrence. I'm a principal dancer with the company, and I joined Birmingham Royal Ballet in 2011. Getting into dance, I started when I was 8 years old, and I was just dancing around a lot. It didn't come through the family. I have an older sister, but she definitely is the academic, and still is more. I think it was just inspiration through things on TV, music channels. We used to go to the pantomime every Christmas, so and our grandparents bought us front row tickets. I was up and close to kind of the stage, craft of it all, and the moving of the sets. I always used to try and see things, you know, the set changes in the dark and everything. So I was always kind of intrigued with that kind of element. But I just started dancing around a lot, and kind of funny, I was wearing holes in my socks. So obviously my mum wasn't pleased with that. So she asked around friends and that, and we found a dance school, and I went to it. At the time it was training with Penny Murray at Stage 84, but it came to a time where she couldn't really take me too much on the ballet route. I started with jazz,
ballet and tap, the whole thing, but it was ballet that really kind of just linked more with me. I don't know if it was the discipline or what, but there was just something about it which took me more. But her background was mostly in musical theatre, and that kind of part. So she was very honest. She said, I'm kind of teaching ballet by the book. Go and find, you know, a better ballet teacher, really. So that's what we did. We spoke to a really good friend of ours whose niece went to a school called the Nizer School of Dance, training with Andy Nizer, who she doesn't have the school anymore. And actually Max Maslin, who's in the company, one of our soloists, he also trained there as well. And she had quite a few boys that had gone through the school. Dominic North with New Adventures, so he's danced with Matthew Bourne for some time now, and also Thomas Whitehead, who is a principal character artist with the Royal Ballet. So we're all of Andy Nizer's boys, and she's very proud, of course. So yeah, I was there for a couple of years, and then it was through going to the Yorkshire Ballet seminars where I got through to the Royal Ballet School. It is now directed by former principal dancer of Birmingham Royal Ballet, Ian Mackay, but then it was a former principal dancer of the Royal Ballet called Marguerite Porter. And we just struck up this rapport. We still got a very good friendship, but she just pretty much said to me, I was 14 at the time, you know, if you want to dance and a career and get enough strength, you need to do class every day. And coming from kind of a single parent background, you know, there was also me and my sister, like not all the money could go on my dancing. So there was, you know, kind of that at home, but she was kind of the fairy godmother of the situation, really, and called up the Royal Ballet School and said, I've got this boy, will you have a look at him? I remember going down to White Lodge on a Tuesday in September to audition for year 10, so to start GCSEs, and they said, can you come on Saturday? And it was just like, 2 years at White Lodge, through to the upper school 3 years, and while I was at the school the whole time, our previous director, Sir David Binley, saw me and gave me a contract in my third year. It was a big shock, kind of going all the way down to London. It was just me and my mum going, you know, into Richmond Park, which is, you know, to have a school in the middle of a huge park like that where there's deer and it's pretty extraordinary. So it was a huge shock, especially coming from Bradford as well. But there was just something about it which I already thought, oh my gosh, like this would be incredible if I was able to come here. But I remember at the time the conversations were, you know, if there isn't a place at the school, maybe senior associates or something like that. Obviously, it probably really depends what I was actually like. But I know that obviously they only have a certain amount of beds with it being a boarding school, and obviously I wouldn't be a day pupil. But they were pleased with the class. I joined in with the class, which had already just been formed, so there were kind of some new guys there anyway. But yeah, I joined in, and then we had a meeting, and then the director, Gaileen Stock, the late Gaileen Stock, she said, you know, we'd love to have you. Can you come and join on the Saturday? So it was straight back up to Yorkshire. I remember we went on the coach as well. We didn't have money for trains, and I didn't even know what a rail card was then. I think anyone who's been to the Royal Ballet School, and in particular White Lodge, you've got to put name tags in everything. So I remember we had this sheet of paper, and it was just my mum and my sister going crazy, trying to iron in and sew in name tags into everything, every last sock. But yeah, we did it, and then I went back down again on the Saturday, and kind of the rest is history. Upon joining the company in 2011, it was a little bit daunting because I unfortunately broke my 5th metatarsal just before my graduation. So I never danced in the graduation performance at the school. So it was a bit of a mind shift, because when that happened, I remember thinking, don't think about the shows, don't think about graduation, like move on from that now. I've got to almost think about, okay, what's next? Because I knew I wasn't going to be back in time for the performances, so I thought, get well, get strong, get fit to start my actual career, my next trajectory. So I did that. I joined the company, and I think I was just a week off of crutches, and then I joined the company. So the company ballet class was my first class back, which wasn't ideal, but it's a slow start, so it was kind of okay. And the company knew, I let everyone know here, so it wasn't a well, what's happened. It was, they all knew, but it was brilliant. I mean, gosh, Birmingham Royal Ballet was on my list since however long I could remember. They used to talk to Bradford a lot, although I never saw them, but being at the Royal Ballet School, they came to London a lot, at the Coliseum and also Sadler's Wells Theatre. So I used to go at every opportunity, and I'd always seen so many past dancers from the school who had joined and been given the most incredible opportunities. So that kind of gave me this confidence that, you know, if I work hard, that could be me. You know, I could get in there, work hard and get these roles as well. I was never one to be like, I need to be promoted, I need to get up there, I need to be like, it was, I don't know, it was more about the people I'm working with and what I'm dancing rather than the ranking. But obviously that's something which kind of came with those roles and what my director at the time, David Bintley, did. But there's huge opportunities that really played a part. I remember my first full length being Beauty and the Beast, which was David's. We danced it in my first season, so I was kind of equipped with knowing the ballet before actually debuting it, I think 2 or 3 years later. And then I remember that same year it was also the Nutcracker, so it was kind of good to do something which wasn't strictly classical, although very hard, and especially with the partnering and, you know, the suit and the costume, but it wasn't too revealing technically. It was revealing when I got to the Nutcracker. But I mean, it was brilliant, and that actually leads me on to kind of partners rather than actual roles. There's been partners that I think have really helped me, and people that I've learned from in the company. I mean, if I'm looking at the principal dancers when I joined, Robert Parker was still a principal and just left, but Ian Mackay, he's someone who I hold in high regard and really admire. Matthew Lawrence, Joseph Cayley, who had just made principal when I joined, even some of the ladies as well, Amber Vallo, Natasha Outridge. But then when my opportunities started coming, it was the dancers like Delia Matthews, who's just recently retired, and also Celine Gittins, who I'm still dancing with, who, gosh, I remember when I was promoted to principal dancer, I remember saying to them, I feel like I owe you a huge thank you as well. You know, it wasn't, you know, yes, it's hard work, it's me, and obviously my director that put me there, but I felt like I wouldn't have got through a lot of roles without their kind of assistance, watching out for me. I remember it got to a time really busy where Celine would really be, you know, she'd look at my schedule and be like, you know, make sure you're resting and recovering, and, you know, you're taking this and taking that, and it felt really, I don't know, just, it was the nature of the company as well, because here at Birmingham Royal Ballet, we're very much, you know, there's a family nature there where we do look out for one another, spending time on tour, a lot of hours in the building, but I felt like Celine was just that extra bit more kind of taking care of me at the time, and Delia was just, I think anyone that's danced with Delia has nothing bad to say. It was absolute heaven, even if she didn't think she was heaven, but it was, you know, absolutely wonderful. So I've shared some incredible memories with both of them, which I thank them for where I am today.
Hi, my name's Yvette Knight. I'm a first soloist with Birmingham Royal Ballet. Welcome to Freefall. I've been working with Freefall for 3 years now. I stepped into their studio to explore what they were about, and they never got rid of me, and it's actually become the highlight of my week, every week. Freefall Dance Company was created back in 2002, and its aim was to provide provision within the arts for dancers with severe learning disabilities. Our latest project film, Stepping Out, Stepping Up, which you're about to see, is one of our most special ones, really, because after all the Zoom sessions that we did in lockdown, which required so much hard work from our freefallers, commitment, dedication, which they had, meant that when we did venture out, when it was safe to do so in an outdoor space, they created something very special, and they had a little bit of normality back. It was inspired by one of Carlos's favourite bands, which is a different sort of sound that they're not used to, and I think they created movement that we've never seen before. I hope you enjoy it.
We're nearly finished here at Birmingham Royal Ballet, but before we go, I'd love to share with you some of the exciting things we have coming up on our YouTube channel, including BRB TV, a brand new fortnightly show where some of the dancers themselves share their daily working lives like never before. So if you would like to know more about this, please like and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
My name is Yasuo Atsuji. I'm going to give you technique tips for jeté entrelacé. Always go arabesque, turn out, step, step, then do the jump.
Today I'm going to be showing you some exercises for hip stability. So folding forward, really keeping those hips nice and level, thinking about engaging through your ribs, keeping your ribs down, especially as you fold forwards.
I'm going to share my tips and tricks to perform and execute a C-zone. I find the C-zone exercise a great way to really build stamina throughout the Allegro.
We're going to look at today plyometrics on an intermediate level. Boom. 2, 3, 4, 5, and rest there. Good.
Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed your time with us for World Ballet Day. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to our social channels for more great content from us. And don't forget to register with Sadler for ticket alert to our launch of Sadler digital stage.